James Gunn hopping from the big screen to the little screen, but staying in the same lane as we last saw him with the Suicide Squad last year. Peacemaker, John Cena's character in that movie, villain, turned villain in the movie.
Totally.
Uh,
R.I.P. Flag.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, when they went through that in the beginning, I just was like Joel Kinnaman, my guy, all over again. By the way, I've been watching For All of Mankind, and he's great.
I gotta start it.
So
I gotta
yeah,
start it. The season
catch
2
up.
hype is high.
It's good. It's good. Anyways, John Cena playing Peacemaker on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Dave, this is getting a lot of love. 3 episodes dropped this past week. What did you think of these first couple episodes?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think it has a lot of the things you'd hope this show would have as a James Gunn creation, as the Suicide Squad spinoff, namely tone, comedy, and I think really importantly, certain self-awareness with its themes and what it's trying to achieve. And that's really great. The Peacemaker character played by John Cena, a big part, an important part, one of the best parts of the Suicide Squad last year. And I think a big part of that is Cena's really good performance. I think John Cena as the actor does have strong comedy chops, but is also not afraid to, ugly himself up or make himself look stupid in a way that The Rock still won't touch, right?
Oh yeah. Yep.
And he did this to great effect in the film. Huge heel turn towards the end there, becoming a true villain. You really hate him at the end, the way, Flag goes down and everything. But then that post-credit scene sets up this show. And it's actually kind of brilliant because there's just so much meat on the bone with what the Peacemaker character is lampooning thematically. And yeah, does this show have the same budget as the Suicide Squad? Certainly not. And if they did make a second show, it also isn't getting that budget after the box office performance of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Alas, all the thematic stuff's still there. So I just find it really enjoyable and a nice, kind of change of pace from what we've come to expect from the saturated superhero TV market. This isn't totally new from DC. The Doom Patrol show, the DC Universe switch to HBO Max show, kind of has a similar way it treats superhero culture. But it's really cool to see this in like that DCEU space, with even Gunn himself being the driving force and Cena's still there too. So I think it's successful.
Yeah, I definitely think it's successful. It's very much getting compared to things like The Boys on Amazon,
Yeah.
the superhero genre. It's gritty, but it's really critiquing and putting a spin of realism onto uh the world of superheroes. I thought I want to say, just for transparency, I only got through the first episode. I actually didn't realize that all 3 dropped, so that's just my bad, not doing my
Yeah, like Station 11 seems to be
Yeah.
the HBO Max release strategy of late. But then again, they're only doing 1 a week from here on out. Station 11 did 2 up until the finale. So yeah, HBO Max definitely is experimenting more than traditional HBO does.
Yeah, and I don't hate it either. Keep giving us 3 episodes. I can't wait to watch the next 2. I thought the first episode was dynamite. I thought it really introduced it obviously introduced the team around Peacemaker. You get Viola Davis, obviously, just not on location, just somewhere in her house recording the shit.
I was surprised to even see her do Zoom though.
Me too. Honestly, I was shocked we actually saw her. And yeah, I mean, it is a good mix of fun with, I think, some meta commentary on what Peacemaker is supposed to represent in terms of like America and like American values, or what people see American values as. Also get some pretty fun action near the end of it, as well as some nudity, which I just was like not expecting at all. It was kind of like, oh, didn't know that it was this kind of show. So
yeah,
maybe raunchier than I was expecting, and I loved Eagly. So shout out to Eagly.
Yeah, Eagly, fantastic CGI, especially for a show.
Yeah.
It looks really great, really realistic. Hats off to the animators there. Yeah, I just love how game Cena is. Again, like he's just he's just great in the role, and he's not afraid to do anything ridiculous.
Yep.
And like he obviously is in on the joke. He understands what's going on, but like you still need the performer to be there, and he is. Um, episode 2, you get the vigilante character called Vigilante continues this, lampooning theme specifically about police officers and some of the cultural talking points you might hear around the act of policing as well as vigilantism. So uh, I think it's all like sometimes it's on the nose, but even when it is, it's still funny and amusing. So I don't mind, and I'm looking forward to seeing, where it goes. And I think like the plot's basically irrelevant to me because I'm
Right.
just enjoying the overall commentary. So if it continues to be fun and having some decent action episode to episode, good enough for me.
Yeah, one of the things I really appreciate about this is Gunn wrote all this after the Suicide Squad in the pandemic. So, and this is something that came to him quick, apparently, from the interviews he's done, that this story kind of came to him. So it seems like there's some real inspiration, some vision with this. And I really like, at least from the first episode. Again, I haven't seen the others. The way that the team around him is just totally like disgusted by him and just thinks he's a complete buffoon. The scene in the restaurant when he shows up in uniform and they're just like, "You wore the fucking uniform," and he's even wearing the helmet. He won't take it off for like so long. Oh man. It calls the waitress sweet cheeks, doesn't understand how that's inappropriate.
Right.
Um, and then him in the parking lot talking about how big his penis is. Called him third, like chimp arm or something like that, or third arm, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
In elementary school, just ridiculous stuff. Um, and then following that up with that ending fight scene at the end of episode 1, uh great dramatic stunts, and seeing Cena get whipped around by this 100-pound girl or a woman was just really fun to watch. So there's a lot to like with this show. I think a lot to sink your teeth into. I'd probably not a show for everybody. I think if you're
Definitely not.
more in that Marvel, if you really like the Marvel shows and you're like, Marvel's it, you're really not going to vibe with the grittiness or the commentary that this is going for.
Right. Totally. Yeah. It definitely just has different goals. Be interested to see what the future HBO Max DCEU spin-off shows attempt to achieve. We know there's the Gotham City Police Department series spin-off from Matthew Reeves
Oh yeah.
upcoming, the Batman film. That show's supposed to be a prequel. That show's been taking longer to come to fruition, recently switched showrunners. On top of that, they recently announced a Penguin spin-off series with Colin Farrell reprising his role. So they're definitely still making these shows, but probably going to be some time before we get something else post Peacemaker. But nevertheless, just happy it's there.
The funny thing is DC shows, we know that they can do shows pretty well. The animated shows, at least, have been successful with the comics, and I think they can definitely get some big name people to be doing these shows. Gunn and Reeves
Mhm.
alone are huge gets for the small screen. So
Yeah, I don't think Reese is too involved in the series, but either way, I mean, they're spinning off from his thing. Um, yeah, I mean, DC it doesn't please everyone, but they're just kind of doing things here and there, and for the most part, they're making good stuff as of late. So I don't have anything too bad to say about them. We know the Batgirl with Leslie Grace, HBO Max feature film is coming perhaps the end of this year. So I think I like where they're headed, even if Henry Cavill fans may not be happy.
yeah, well, we're gonna be staying tuned to Peacemaker. We'll talk about it when it wraps up in a few weeks. Drop your thoughts below.